right, so you've got some video footage recorded either on your phone or on your camera, and you want to be able to compile it all together and edit an awesome movie. What do you do? Well, Digital Ben back here once again with you for another Digital Den mini class, where today we will be going over Adobe Premiere, the professional video editing software. It's my personal favorite because of its connectivity with other Adobe products, and it is the editing software of choice for a lot of professional filmmakers. And speaking of movies, well, we're actually going to be using an independent film that a friend of mine shot to be able to use that as an example for exactly how to put a movie together. All right, so here we are in Adobe Premiere. We have opened this up for the very first time, and so we are going to take a look at these top left two functions that we have here. We have the new project and the open project. Open project is for if you have created a project file in the past where you've organized all of your different video clips and you want to locate that individual project file to be able to continue editing, videos in a series or whatever. New project is what we are going to be clicking since this is the first time that we have opened this today. We're going to click on browse and we are going to find where we want to store this project file. I've created a folder called Let's Make a Movie. I'm going to click on that, select the folder, and then type the project name to be movie project. You can have it be whatever you want, or you can leave it untitled, whatever works best for you. And all of the rest of this, complicated mumbo jumbo down here, we are not going to take a look at today. You can actually just leave everything standard. Especially if you're using it here in the Digital Den, as nothing's been adjusted. So you can just click on OK, and I promise you everything's going to work out just fine. So once everything loads up here, we're going to see 4 blank windows that we are going to be taking a look at today in this video. We have got the effects controls area. We have got it says program, and as you can see right now, it says no sequences. This is where it's like the video playback section where we are going to be able to take a look at everything that we're editing. Down here in the bottom right, we've got the timeline, or the the sequence editor, basically. This is where we are going to actually be making our edits to be able to organize our video files. And this is going to be where we are going to import all of our video files to. So what I'm going to be able to do first is I'm going to go ahead and pull up the folder that I have all of the video files in. We are going to click and drag everything down here to this movie project window. And there you have it. Everything has been added here. We're only going to be using 3 project files today, so we don't have a whole lot. But if you'd like to keep them organized, you can also use this new bin down here, this button right here, and you can click on that and title it whatever you like. The title of the movie that we are working with is called Spiral Drive. It is a found footage movie that was released in 2020. So big thanks to my friend Eric Fitzpatrick for allowing for me to be able to use this to show off an example of how to make a movie using an actual movie, right? So to be able to keep things nice and organized, you can move everything into the folders here. So if you have like 100 different video files, keeping everything organized is really nice and handy to organize things via scene or via actor or via whatever, that you're wanting to make sure to whatever works for your own individual system, right? I like to keep things meticulously organized, so I have lots of folders for everything all the time. And that's kind of how I do things here. So the other way to be able to input footage, you can come up here to File in the top left, click on Import, and then you can open the folder that has all your video files and bring everything in here that way. Okay, I'm going to click on this folder to be able to bring up all of my project files. And now we are going to be talking about the timeline. So there are 2 ways to be able to start a timeline. The first is to come up here to File in the top left. You can click on New and then Sequence. We're not going to be going over shortcut keys today because that's just a lot to remember. But shortcut keys do make everything quite a bit easier. And then whenever you click on new sequence, you'll see just a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, just all, it's intimidating looking for somebody that has never used a video editing program before. And you might be looking at this and all the numbers and everything, and you're like, scary. We're gonna click cancel on that. You don't have to worry about that. That is the more complicated way to be able to create a sequence. The easiest way to do it is to use this button down here. It's called the new item button. And we can just click and drag the new item that we want to have all of our video footage generated around and add that to our timeline. Basically, that takes all of the sizing of your video and everything about it and brings it over to the timeline so that it basically acts as a base for the rest of our video footage. So for example, if you have some footage that you shot on your phone in vertical and you clicked and dragged that over to the timeline, it would generate a sequence that all of the video footage that you put on there would appear vertical. Okay, if that makes sense. So next, we have since we've dragged something onto the timeline here in the top right hand corner here, the video editor or the video viewer, you can see the footage of what I have added here as I scrub through everything. So that's this. You can adjust the size of the screen to be able to look at something closer, further away, yada, yada, using the different sizing options here. We're just going to use fit for now. And let's take a look at what we have here on this timeline. We have got a bunch of different track layers. Everything is called tracks on this timeline. We have our 3 video tracks here on top and our 3 audio tracks on bottom. I can add more tracks by just going up to the top and dragging a video or audio file to that section, and it will add an additional track in that area. And the same thing works for audio. If I drag it down, I can create a new audio track by going beyond the limit of tracks that I currently have set on my timeline. Okay. A couple of different buttons that you'll want to pay attention to. The M button means mute, so I can mute individual tracks if I don't want to listen to that audio right now. I can click on this S button, that means solo track. If I have a whole bunch of different tracks all at once, I can click on the S to only listen to that individual audio track there. And then we also have on the video tracks here, we have this eyeball. I can click on that and we'll make it so that that track is now invisible. It's like as if it weren't even there, right? All right, let's take a look at these tools that we have here on the left of the timeline. So the first one is the selector tool. This is the main tool that you'll be using, that you can click and drag different items around your timeline here to keep things nice and organized as you're putting together your video project. So if, for example, this title sequence that I have here at the beginning, I, for some reason, want to be able to move it so that it appears later in the video, I can move that using the selector tool. Okay, this next tool is the track select forward tool. I'm going to need a couple of different other tracks to be able to utilize this track select forward tool effectively. So I'm going to click on a couple of different scenes that I have from Spiral Drive here, and I'm going to add those all to the timeline. Okay, so as you can see here, I now currently have 3 different video tracks or video files added to this individual timeline. This track select forward tool, I can click on a video file and it will select every single thing to the right of that file that I selected, or the video clip that I've selected. Okay. You can come over here to that track select forward tool, click and hold on it, and then you can basically reverse the orientation of it so that it is backwards. I can click on the timeline and it will select the individual video clip that I selected and everything to the left of that as well. Now, if I have multiple tracks on here, so like say, for example, I have got images on top of it, or maybe I'm layering multiple different video clips on top of each other. And so we've got a whole bunch of different layers on a variety of tracks going on here. I can actually select the the track select forward or backward and hold shift to be able to make it so that it only selects an individual track instead of grabbing everything else. Okay. Grabbing all of the different tracks that we have there. Okay, so that's that tool. Next, we have the ripple edit tool, which I'm going to skip over for this video because, in my opinion, this is the most complicated of the tool options that we have here in this timeline. So I'm going to be covering that in the next video where we will be discussing how to make edits on your video. Okay. The next tool is the tool that you'll probably be using the most next to the select tool, which is the razor tool. This will allow for us to be able to make cuts to our video. So say, for example, this title sequence goes on maybe a little bit too long and I want to cut it at the beginning here a little bit. I'm going to zoom in. The way that I do it is, well, using a shortcut key. I hold Alt and then zoom up on my mouse wheel. I can roll up on my mouse wheel and it zooms in. So I'm going to say I want to cut starting here. I can click on exactly where I want to make that cut on the timeline. And then using the selector tool, I can hold on to that area and I can delete it. So now the video footage only starts a portion of the way through the title sequence instead of playing all of it. We have some dead space right here in this area. So the video would start with 2 seconds of dead space, basically. The way that I can get rid of that is I can right click on that dead space and click ripple delete. And that will pull everything on the timeline to the left so that we don't have any dead space at the beginning. Our video starts exactly where we want the title sequence to start with. Okay. So the next tool that we have is called the slip tool. And this is another one that is a little bit more complicated, but I think that you can hang with me on this. So let's, I'm going to make a cut here on this next clip to be able to use that as an example. And I'm going to delete that. And so this first scene here in this found footage movie is just somebody running through the forest here. Okay. That happens for about 10 seconds or so, right? Using this slip tool, I can keep the length of the clip exactly the same, so about 10 seconds. But I can, since there is more to this individual clip, like a lot longer than 10 seconds, I can click and drag on here to change exactly which part of the video is going to be played. So if I click and drag to the left, the future will be moved forward, basically. The later portion of the video will be moved to the left. Or I can click and drag to the right, and then everything to the left will be pulled in into where exactly I want to be looking. Right. So I'm going to click and drag left. So now what it was before was somebody kind of running around through the forest. And now it is somebody seeing a spooky monster and then being like, oh, gosh, instead of what it was before, which was just the person running around through the forest. Right. So that's the slip tool. It keeps the length of the clip exactly the same, but it changes what we're going to be viewing in that individual clip. Does that make sense? The next tool here is called the pen tool, and it's a tool that nobody uses. You can like draw shapes on here for some reason, like yippee, boy, you're not going to use it. Don't worry about the pen tool. You can also click and hold onto it, and there's a rectangle tool or an ellipse tool as well. You're not going to use it. Don't worry about it. Next is the hand tool. So we've got multiple different clips on our timeline here. If we want to be able to look at the timeline here in the like in the same zoomed in kind of view, but scrubbed through it, we can use the hand tool to be able to move around the timeline to be able to get to some of the video files that are a little bit later on in our sequence here. Okay. If you click and hold on the hand tool and you can shift over to the zoom tool, this will allow for us to be able to zoom in, or if we hold Alt, zoom out. Okay. You can also, like I mentioned earlier, click or hold Alt and zoom in or out on the mouse wheel. And then my favorite thing to use with the zoom tool is to basically click and drag a specific area on the timeline, and it'll zoom into that exact spot on your timeline, which I think is pretty cool. And then the last tool that we will go over here in this video is called the type tool. And you basically can just click and drag a section here, and you can type in whatever you want, and it can make a title or a subtitle using the text tool there. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of different effects up here in the top left-hand corner that we will go over in future videos in this Let's Make a Movie series. So make sure to return next Monday to be able to get part 2 of this series, where we will be going over how to make different edits on your video project there. I hope that this is helpful and not too complicated for you. If you have any other questions, please make sure to stop on by the Digital Den to be able to learn more at a quicker rate about Adobe Premiere. Huge thanks to Eric Fitzpatrick for allowing for me to use his found footage movie Spiral Drive in this series. If you're interested in that movie and you want to watch it, it is available on YouTube. Just type in Spiral Drive and you'll be able to find that found footage movie. And it's a lot of fun. It is like it's like very, very R rated. So just keep that in mind if you do want to go and watch that. Anyway, we will be back again next Monday with the next video in the series. So we will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.